We're live on YouTube. Welcome to your Friday afternoon open live Q&A. Thanks for being here, YouTube. I'm going to hop over and make sure that we are, in fact, live on YouTube. But I am here to answer your questions about getting clients from LinkedIn, social media, wherever you happen to be and you want to be getting clients. That is why we're here. And I can see that we are live and streaming now. And I think I got some questions queued up and ready to go. I'm going to just pop into the chat really quickly. Ask me anything here in the chat. And if you happen to be watching this on the replay, you don't have a chat available to you, but you can comment below and ask me a comment below. I'm happy to answer it. So let's get to some questions that have been queued up from this week. I think I got a really interesting one that came in. Let me see if I can find this thing. If I were prepared, I would have found it beforehand. But of course, all right, so somebody says, how do you deal with the loneliness of being an entrepreneur? They write, it's lonely sometimes though, and the masses that aren't entrepreneurs are trying to pull you back. Well, there's actually a really interesting metaphor, a story-based metaphor about this. And you might have heard me talk about this before, which is the fisherman who's fishing for crabs, and he has a big bucket, and he pulls the crabs up off the pier and puts them in the bucket, but he doesn't have a cover on the bucket. And the bucket's full of crabs, and a passerby came by, looked into the bucket, saw the crabs all moving around, and said, "Hey, you don't have a bucket, you don't have a cover on that bucket to keep those crabs in." And the fisherman kind of smiled and he goes, "I don't have to have a cover. Every time one tries to crawl out, the others grab them and pull them back in." That's a survival mechanism. It's more than just a story, more than just an analogy. It's actually, or a metaphor. It is a survival mechanism because we are programmed to want to keep the group together because we're safer in numbers. And it just comes from evolution, and it keeps really bad things from happening to us. So people unknowingly, when they see you trying to get out and do something, they want to bring you back. That's the first reason that they do, is there's this natural instinct that they want to bring you back, not for your safety, but for the safety of the tribe. It leverages a part of the brain called the limbic system. The limbic system regulates emotion. It's where emotion originates. It is where sexual impulse originates because it's designed to keep the species going forward. And that's one of the ways we do it. I think that's the only way we do it. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. But it also wants to keep the tribe alive, and the tribe is alive. Tribe is more likely to stay alive if the tribe is together and protecting each other. So the number one reason that it's lonely as an entrepreneur, and you've got those non-entrepreneurs trying to pull you back, and the pull, as you write, the pull of the masses is quite strong. It's happening because they're not doing it to mess with you. They're just doing it because that's what they're programmed to do. So your success step is understanding that that's happening and resisting it. Okay? And it's hard to resist, right? It's hard to resist oh, come on, we're all going out. It's Friday night, we're all going out. Or it's Thursday night. It's a weekend eve, we're all going out. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and we're all partying. Those are the days that you should be working harder than not. Those are the times when you feel that pull. What you've got to do is you've got to muster up the strength to pull in the other direction. So it's time to resist the going out and getting drunk all the time, or at all, maybe. It's time to resist the urge to go out and party, to go to the movies, to go out dancing or clubbing or socializing or going to the concert or to the thing. Those pulls are fine, but if you can defer and delay that gratification, that's a characteristic of success. And I can cite a research study that was done. It was actually a really cool research study. You might have heard of this, where it's called the Marshmallow Study. And they took a bunch of children a long time ago, and they put them in a room, one by one, and they put a marshmallow in front of them. And the person said, "Hey, that marshmallow is sitting there, and I got to step out for a second. You can either eat that marshmallow, or if you don't eat it, I'll give you two marshmallows later on." And then they left the room and they observed the behavior. And there were two behaviors. One behavior was the kid, door shut, kid ate the marshmallow, bird in the hand kind of kid. And the others didn't. They waited and they got the reward of more marshmallows later on. So then they followed these children throughout life. And it's amazing to look at the results. The children who were able to defer gratification, they were able to resist the impulse of eating that marshmallow so that they could get more later on. That's delayed gratification, delaying the impulse of the now to seek the bigger reward in the future. The children who were able to delay that gratification had higher levels of success in all areas of life across the board. Well, not universally, because there's always some screw ups in every group. But that was the results of that. So you're feeling, hold on one second. I didn't know what that meant. Somebody wrote, "That's a great logo to choose." I wonder where did I miss something with that? It was about 7 minutes ago. I wonder what did I miss with that one? So the key there is you're going to feel the pull. You're going to feel the pull from your friends who don't have their own businesses or who aren't moving in a unique direction. You're going to feel that pull. You're going to feel the pull from your family who don't understand what you're doing, your spouse, your children. You're going to feel that pull from everywhere. Your job is to understand that people aren't pulling you to mess with you. What's happening is you're challenging their understanding of success. They have an understanding of success, and for 95, 96% of the people in the world, that understanding of success is meaning surrounded by people, in a work environment. But you're looking to go off and do something on your own, so you're challenging that. So they're going to fight against that, and they're going to fight against that by trying to pull you back. And it's a very, very strong pull. So you've just got to resist it. You got to pull back against it even harder. And that's not easy to do at first. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. And I can tell you this, the more you do it, the less frequently people ask you to do things. And so that's good. If you're looking to achieve something extraordinary, you don't need the pressure of people asking you to do things. Because it's hard to say no, because we're programmed to want to please others. So sometimes you got to say no. And the more you say no, the easier it gets. All right. So that is addressing that from Durpel. Oh, I can't read the name because it Durpel. You'll know the rest. You know the rest. You know who you are. Let me see if I can find another question that's come up. And by the way, if you are watching this on YouTube and you are watching this, whether on, hey, nice to see you too. Thanks for the comments on YouTube. If you are watching this on YouTube, you're watching this live or on the replay, and you kind of dig hearing the stuff that I'm talking about, well, you might be interested in my private mastermind, which is called Force Acceleration. It's less than the price of coffee, so it's very affordable. And it is designed to make you a lot of money, help you have greater impact on the people that you serve in your business, and, say it with me, have fun while we're doing it. Because why have a business if you're not going to have fun? And why have a business if you're not going to make a lot of money? And why have a business if you're not going to make impact on people? So in the Force Acceleration Mastermind, we do those three things. And it's ridiculously inexpensive. And it is completely designed to help you get those three things as fast as possible. Then when you get those three things, the Radius of Impact Mastermind is ready for you. And that's where we look to have impact on the world beyond our businesses. So, I don't know. If it sounds cool to you, I'll put the link in the chat, and then I'll also include it in the description of the video for you guys on the replay. It's HTTPS, of course, collab.prouty.me. And if you go to that link, you can get the whole scoop on the Force Acceleration Mastermind. And maybe, if you're right for it, maybe I'll let you in. Maybe. Let's go through some more. The question came up, how often should I be making connections on LinkedIn? Well, that's interesting. You should be making you should be sending, I think LinkedIn allows you 100 connection requests a week, right? I think that's what LinkedIn allows. Max, let me just Google this for you. Because I had some Muyuk tell me that it was 40, but I really don't think that's true. I think it's 100. But somebody was saying it was 40 this week. So I just want to make sure that I've got the right number. So you can send, according to from LinkedIn, you can send 20 connection requests a day on average. On average. All right. So that and I always tell people 100 per week is probably the max that you want to do. That's why the hundred's in my brain. So it's 20 per day on average. So why does LinkedIn say on average? They say on average because if you look like you're trying to like mess with the system, then they're probably gonna shut you down and tell you you're sending too many connection requests. So like if you're not the smartest person in the world, you might get shut down at like 40 connection requests. And then you'll probably go off on YouTube and start criticizing people who know what they're doing and trying to tell them that it's only 40, but you were just not smart and you did something wrong. But you're not smart enough to realize you did something wrong. So now you think it's 40, but it's not. It's actually 20 a day on average. My recommendation is 10 a day. And so you're at like 70 a week, which is well underneath the 100 that I think will get you in trouble. But, it's not 40. And even if you believe it's 40, that doesn't mean that it's true. Right? That's the elephant in the room, as I was told. So there you go. So how many connection requests? I say 10 a day, and even that feels like a bit much. So just try to go for the high quality connection requests, send about 10 a day. The other thing that somebody told me this week, they told me that I'm spreading misinformation because you can't send connection requests to everybody on LinkedIn. You're right, you can't. So you send connection requests to the people that you can. That you work within what you can do. It's not that I'm wrong. You can't send them to everybody. Not everybody wants a connection request. And if you're dumb and you're kind of an idiot online, not everybody wants a connection request from you. You might be able to send less. But I don't know. That's just me. That's just my own personal opinion on that. All right, so that's the answer to that one. That was a good question. Thank you for that. Why are you so cautious about hitting the maximum number on LinkedIn? Because my LinkedIn has been shut down for sending too many connection requests. So I get nervous about that. I used to send before there were restrictions. Now we're going back years and years here. Before Microsoft bought LinkedIn, I was sending 100 connection requests a day. And then Microsoft stepped in and LinkedIn shut off my account. And then I had to get on a call with LinkedIn and they yelled at me and they told me not to do it again. So I'm staying well underneath, just staying well underneath. Yeah, does that make sense? Does that answer your question, JP? All right. Let me go to the list of questions, see what else there is. Somebody says, I'm not a business owner, but I think I should become one because I'm going insane in the corporate asylum. Here's what I'm going to tell you. if that's you, if you're sitting there and you're going bonkers working for corporate and you're thinking about starting your own thing, what I want you to do is this. First, identify a group of people that you would love to serve. Just say to yourself, who are the people I would love to serve? Would you love to serve real estate agents? Do you love real estate agents? Can you not get enough of those people? Would you love to serve landscapers, people who mow lawns? You love to talk about cutting grass and trimming hedges? Like, who is it that you wish to serve? And maybe it's not even a business. Maybe it's just a type of person. Maybe you only want to serve women who are moms of 3 kids who are looking to get back into the workforce. Maybe that's who you want to serve. So step number 1, if you're going mental in corporate and you want to start your own thing, you got to figure out who it is. The reason is you're going to have to talk to these people all the time. Like, it's just the nature of business. You have to talk to your prospects. You have to talk to your clients. So I have very specifically only let in to my masterminds people that I love talking to because I talk to them all the time. Like, there's only 1 day a week that I don't talk to these people. Even on the weekends, I'm talking to them. The only day a week I don't talk to them is Wednesday. But there's a special reason for that. We'll cover that another time. So step number 1, figure out who you want to talk to all the time. Step number 2, figure out what you want to do. What activity do you love doing that can help these people? What do you love doing that would solve a problem they have? Maybe they have a problem that you know you can solve, but you don't know what the solution is yet. So go find the solution. And now you're pairing a group of people you love with a solution that you love. And now you just need to put those 2 things together. That's called bringing your solution to market. So you approach 30 of these people, you find them, you approach them, you say, hey, I've got this new thing. It's a service that solves this problem. Can I get some feedback? And you talk to 30 of them and you get feedback. What will happen is in that 30, 3 of them will say, I'd like you to do this for me. Now you have a choice to make. You can either do it for free and ask them for a video testimonial in exchange. That would be worth it. Or you can do it and charge them a fair amount so that you're in fair exchange. Get them great results. Find out what they loved. Find out what they didn't like about it. Get rid of the stuff they didn't like. Do more of the stuff they loved. Keep getting the same result. And now you're ready to bring it to a large market. I need you to make 3 sales before you do that. Even if the payment for the sale is a video testimonial. All right, so that will help you with that. So if you feel like you are stuck in corporate and you want to get out, that would be the fastest way to do it. You could have that done a week from today. Let's go through and see if there are more. I'm just scrolling through. I know there are questions here. That is, I answered that one. Hang with me. How do you get people from LinkedIn on a discovery call? I don't. And I don't recommend using the phrase discovery call. The reason so discovery call is an old-fashioned term, and it's something that everybody's heard, and everybody knows what you're doing on a discovery call. So when you're marketing and you're talking to people, whether you're marketing to people in person or online, and you offer someone a discovery call, what they're thinking is, oh, you just don't want to call it a sales call. I get it. And they're not going to take you up on that offer. The only people who willingly want to get on a sales call are people who are desperate to buy a solution. So for example, if I had like like let's imagine I had a torn Achilles and it was really hurting me. I would very happily get on a sales call with a foot specialist to figure out if they can help me. Like very happily do that. But if you're like a service-based business and you tell somebody, let's get on a discovery call or a strategy session, you're using old-fashioned language that people are not going to respond to. Because a discovery call is seen as you're going to discover how to sell to me. And a what's the other one? A strategy session. It's you're going to figure out a strategy to sell to me. You got to figure out a better phrase for that. You got to go off and brainstorm what a better what a better phrase for that is. You got to go figure that out. But it's not a discovery call. So this person's complaining that they're making connections on LinkedIn, but they're not getting any discovery calls. It's because you're calling them discovery calls and nobody wants to meet and be sold to by you. Yeah. So you got to find a better name for that call instead of discovery call. Does that make sense? I sure do hope so. Let's see. Somebody asks me, can you talk about how I can get buyers as a recruiter on LinkedIn? How do I get buyers as a recruiter on LinkedIn? So I don't know who your buyers are. If you're a recruiter on LinkedIn, your buyers are one of two people. Your buyers are either people who are job seeking or companies who are seeking employees. But I don't know which of those two it is. And my first concern is that you're calling them buyers. That says to me you need a small mindset shift because these are people that you're providing service to. These are your clients. They're not just buyers. A buyer is someone who's going into a store and walking out with like a bit of honey candy bar. That's a buyer. They bought it. You're looking for clients. You're looking for people that you can serve. But I don't know who you're trying to serve because I don't know who your clients are. I don't know if you're going for businesses or if you're going for people who are job seeking. Let's presume you're going for businesses because if you're on LinkedIn, it's probably more likely that you're going for businesses who are looking to hire people. Well, then in that case, my recommendation is create content that answers the burning questions those businesses have. And the more of that content that you create, the more likely you're going to be seen as an expert and they will come to you. Next, let's see if I can squeeze one more in. Okay, so this one is about this one's a personal question to me about how I'm able to go 23 and a half hours without eating and then eat for a half an hour and then repeat. Not easily. It's not easy by any stretch to go for 23 and a half hours without eating and then eat for a half an hour. It's not easy until you start doing it. And it's not easy for the first day or week or month or 3 months. And I've been doing it now for years and it's still not easy. I'm hungry right now and I'm not going to eat for another 5 hours. And I haven't eaten since 6 o'clock last night. So like, no, I have not. There was nothing. I didn't even have like nothing. I've had coffee. This coffee and water is all I've had. And there's the only thing that's in this coffee is beans and water. So how how am I able to do it? Practice and discipline. And I remind myself that it's okay to be hungry. And I remind myself that my body is going into a state that is incredibly helpful, incredibly beneficial to my body. I'm putting my body into a stress state that is causing my body to react in such a way that is prolonging my life. You heard me knock on the wood, prolonging my life, keeping me healthier, keeping me more mentally alert, helping me keep my weight at a really great place, keeping me from being distracted. So how you say I'm doing this no matter what, and you do it no matter what, but you got to work up to it. So don't start at 23 or 23 and a half hours. Start at 12, then go to 14, then 16, then 18. Hang around at 18 hours of fasting and then 6 of eating for a long time. Then go to like 19 and 20, and then you're at 20 and you're like, oh, wait, I can just hang on for 3 more hours. And you do. That's when you know you're ready. Do you target public audiences on Facebook or do you limit sharing on socials? Organically wide open so that I hit everybody. Paid, I secret kind of secret sauce here. Hold on. Now I'll tell you. I almost wasn't gonna tell you publicly. I would have told you privately. I only choose one characteristic. I just pick one characteristic to make a demographic on Facebook, and I test 10 to 20 different characteristics, 10 to 20 different audiences. So one audience per characteristic. I test all of those. I'll teach you that in the mastermind. It's a great way to do it. Or organically wide open. Otherwise, one characteristic. Let's make sure I haven't missed anything with 3 minutes to go. I've got 3 minutes to go. Ask me a question, you guys on YouTube, if you got one. If you don't, let me just go through the list of questions that have come in over the past week. See if there's another cool one that I can answer. I provided a service in fair exchange with someone for a written testimonial for my business, but the person never gave me the written testimonial. Okay, so this is someone who provided a service in exchange for a testimonial, which is I recommend doing at first, because it's a great way to build up testimonials and to make sure your service is getting people results. So I recommend at first doing service for a video testimonial or a written testimonial. If somebody doesn't deliver it, the first question you have to ask is, did I not do a good job? Did I not give them the service they were looking for? And if that's the case, you got to fix that first. So get that fixed. And then if you did a great job for them and they didn't write it, it's because people are busy and they're distracted and people are in general lazy and they just haven't thought to do it. So send them a reminder, ask if they can do it. If they say no, never speak to them again. If they say yes, give them a couple of days and then remind them one more time. Remind them 3 times, 3 strikes, then they're out. If you ask them 3 times and they don't do it, then you you develop amnesia for them, never think about them again, and move on. Somebody says, how can I sign up for your mastermind? Yes, well, you can't just sign up for it. I have to let you in because it's not for everybody. It's only for people who want to make more money and have bigger impact on their clients. And not everybody wants to do that. And I can tell you by your behavior whether or not you want to make more money. I can tell the people that don't want to make more money by their behaviors. Your behaviors indicate your inspiration. If you're inspired to make money, your behaviors will follow. If you're inspired to build things but never make money, your behaviors will follow. Remember that. You guys in the mastermind, remember that. I can tell who's designed to make money by your behavior, because your behavior always will be in line with what inspires you the most. And if you're not inspired to make a ton of profit, your behaviors are not going to be in line with that, and you're not going to do the things necessary to do it. And if you're not inspired to give your audience a great result, your behaviors are going to indicate that as well. Your behaviors, you will always behave in a way that aligns with what you value most. So how do you sign up for my programs? You can't. You have to just get on my waiting list at collab.prouty.me. I put that in the chat already, but I will put it again if I can, and then I got to go. Because I got money to make, as they say. There, you go to collab.prouty.me. That will get you on the waiting list, and then I will meet with you. I will ask you a bunch of questions. I'll decide if you really do want to make money. You'll try to convince me that you will, and then I will invite you in. Thanks for that heart, whoever just did that. That was nice of you. You guys on the replay, I'll put it down below as well. All right. All right, guys. Cafe FA at 2:00. See you then. And my gratitude to all of you. Thank you for being here with me today.